Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are staying down on the mat for this super intense mat bar workout that is really going to burn out the legs and booty. So I will be using an optional set of ankle weights. You can grab those if you have them. Otherwise, you can totally do this workout without ankle weights as well and still get a great burn. If you're ready, roll out your mat and let's go. Hi guys, we're staying completely down on the mat today. This is going to be a mat bar workout, so still really going to burn out the legs. You'll notice I've got my ankle weights here. The ankle weights are optional, but I'm just kind of going for a little bit of an extra burn right now. These are 0.75 kilos, so roughly a pound and a half. I think it would be just over a pound and a half. So something around that, or you could even do like half a kilo, 1 pound, like anything at all. Or no ankle weights, it's still going to burn without them. So all of these workouts for the next few weeks, however many weeks I've got left in me, let's see, because I am coming up to the end of my pregnancy journey. But yeah, that being said, the next few weeks, all of the workouts, of course, will be pregnancy friendly, usually postpartum friendly as well. It'll always be marked in the description and also probably in the title, so you can always just double check there. Still, it's going to be a really challenging routine if you are not pregnant. So really, I have not changed these workouts much at all since becoming pregnant. The only real difference is that we're not doing some of the ab exercises that we were before. So if you wanted to combine this one with one of my other older ab workouts, that would be absolutely perfect if you're not pregnant. So there's that. Before we get started though here, if you want to see more content from me, and I'll probably be posting, I have been posting really regularly on Instagram at F2D Fitness, and that I'll also be posting additional workouts. So even if the workouts come to a stop sometime in the next few weeks here on YouTube, you'll probably find stuff going a little bit longer on there, just because it's a little bit easier for me to film those bits and get them together as, of course, I come closer to giving birth. So yeah, you can find lots of stuff there. In addition, of course, to workouts, you'll find nutrition information, lots of things related to women's hormone health and conception, fertility, all of that. So go follow me over on there. But we're going to get started with this workout, starting, of course, with a warm-up. That just makes sense. So you're going to come here onto hands and knees, and you're actually going to keep toes together, split the knees open. We're going to press back into a child's pose here, so just releasing, opening up the hips. Arms are reaching long, hands about shoulder distance apart, and we're just going to come forward. You can press pelvis forward a little bit, still pulling navel in, staying supported there, and then back to that child's pose, okay? Going between those two things in 3, 2, 1. So back to that child's pose, releasing the hips, releasing shoulders, pressing chest down, and then we'll inhale, push forward. That hip opener feels very nice. Always love a good hip opener. Oh, hey, Luna. All right, Luna's here. We have one cat appearance. It's probably going to be the only cat appearance we get today because the other two are sleeping in the bedroom. And usually when they're in there, they're not really going to be bothered to move for probably much of the day. They're in their happy place. Luna, who is our oldest cat, she's gonna be 16 this year. She's actually the most active during the day. She moves around quite a bit. She's very playful. She's our most playful. Last one here, and then go ahead, bring the knees together. Step your left foot to the outside left hand. Right toes we're gonna tuck under, and we're just gonna push back through the right heel, getting a big stretch. Tap knee to floor. Push back through the heel. Tap to floor. Again, I'm keeping core engaged here. So thinking of wrapping around my navel, pulling everything up and in, staying low through the hips here so I'm not bouncing up and down. I'm just getting a really big stretch. So light tap, full extension back through the heel. So yeah, really think about that extension. And you can think about that line going all the way from like tops of the shoulders, crown of the head even, back through that heel every time that you're extending. So lots of dynamic stretching here just to start, just to get us warmed up. I'm not gonna lie, last one here, go ahead, switch sides. I think it is gonna be a hard one with these ankle weights. So yeah, could come to the point now here on the second side, could come to the point where I really regret doing the ankle weights, but I've told myself I'm doing it. I've put the ankle weights here, so I have to look at them. So basically, it's what's gonna happen. It's just what's gonna happen. But of course, do what you need to do with these. If you're fairly new to this kind of style of workout, so the sort of mat bar, the really small movements, small controlled movements, I would say maybe start without any weight at all, just use body weight. It's definitely still going to be enough. But yeah, the ankle weights are for you if you wanna kind of do it a little bit more advanced. Last one there. Come onto the knees here. We'll do knees about shoulder distance apart. Hands can just come to hips. You're gonna sit butt back toward heels and then big tuck under. So we're just doing a kind of mat squat here. Exhale, tuck under. Squeezing butt tight, still pulling in from the navel. And if you guys have been following my workouts for the last few weeks, you probably know that I've just been getting increasingly out of breath. So that's just gonna be happening. That's just gonna be happening. I'm gonna push through it. I'm gonna carry on, don't you worry. But yeah, you might hear me getting a little bit breathless. I'm doing my best here. So tucking from every direction, shoulders just pulling down and back. We're gonna do one last warm-up exercise. So stay at kind of a halfway point here, and we're gonna swing the hips to the right and to the left. So you're kind of drawing like a shallow smiley face here. I'm still hugging navel in, and then just drawing that little kind of shallow smiley face. So popping up one side, popping up on the other side. Whew. Really warming up lower body and hips. This is a good birth prep exercise as well. Fun stuff. You can also do these on a big yoga ball, birth ball, whatever you want to call it, stability ball. Same thing, but you can do them down here on the mat. You could also do this in a squat position, but in any case, it's good for birth prep. And also just good if that's not something that you're working on right now. Either way, all good. Last few seconds here, and I'm already dreading it. I'm gonna be putting on those ankle weights. Oh my God, all right. Last one here. Go ahead, release. The time has come. All right. I wish I had different weights of ankle weights, because I do think I would probably prefer half a kilo right now, but I don't have that. I have 0.75, so we're gonna go with what I have. Alrighty, okay. All right, go ahead, lower onto one side here. So we're gonna do good old side lying series to start. Knees are gonna be bent here and stacked. We're gonna be working both internal and external rotation. So really working all the way around, like really the whole circumference of the leg. So you're gonna be doing heels or toes together. I don't care what you wanna do, heels or toes, and then knees together. That foot kicks up high. Why? All right, it's gonna be a full minute of everything as well. Here we go, in 3, 2, 1. So we're doing toes and then heels. Hips are still staying stacked. The bottom half of my body is pressing down into the floor. So I'm not rocking back and forth, nor should you be. Navel is still wrapping in here toward the spine, so staying nice and supported. And then within that, I'm going as big as I can with this top leg. Sometimes I see people do just like little weenie ones here. No. We're keeping these fairly slow, and we're going for a big range of motion. As long as the hips are staying stacked, we're all good in terms of that range of motion. So yeah, really separate the feet, go big on that internal rotation. I know I'm going to regret saying this, but so far the ankle weight does not feel too terrible, but just you wait. All right, last one here. We're going to keep toes together, extend and touch, extend and touch. So again, nice and controlled here. There's a little pause in that extension and then a controlled return back in. I'm not just like wildly kicking that leg in and out. We want to find as much of the turnout here as possible, but without actually opening up that hip. So you shouldn't be like up here, right? Because if I'm up here, now that hip has gone back. Hip stays where it is, but there's actually, well, depending on your level of turnout and depending on your level of using the muscles to get that turnout, there could be a fairly good range there still. It's not going to be all the way up here, as it would be if you open the hip. But you can still get a pretty good range. So it shouldn't be super, super close to the floor. All right, do one more here. This is what I'm really dreading. You're gonna keep toes together here, knees open, and we're just gonna lift the feet, kind of tucking that top knee in, lower the feet. So bottom knee still stays down. We're going from a low clamshell to a high clamshell. I'm feeling that in that corner of my glute that's on top. So for me, that's my right side. Getting a little bit of the obliques with this one as well. Exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower. The good news is, as far as like outer thigh and glute in this side lying series, we're about actually halfway done here already. So maybe that helps. Maybe that helps you get through what's coming. But what's coming is going to be a big old burnout. So you're going to stay lifted on this next one. We're going to do the same thing. Knee to knee, toe to toe. Knee to knee, toe to toe. Now, obviously, because that bottom foot is now lifted, and you're keeping it lifted, don't let it start to drop down. Because it's lifted, we're not going to have as much of a gap between the feet here. However, because we are still looking to split those feet every time we bring these together, every time there's an internal rotation, it is really going to encourage an even bigger internal rotation than when the feet were down on the floor. So we're really digging into it now. And also thinking, again, big opening here, as long as the hips stay stacked, you're all good. So check in, your bottom butt cheek should not be resting on the floor. You're on the bottom hip bone, you're not on the butt. Last one here, keep knees open. We're doing that extension. Whew. Exhale, extend, inhale, touch. Exhale, extend, inhale, touch. And with the feet lifted, again, this is actually going to be a little bit of a bigger angle than when we were down on the floor. Part of that is because we're turned out in both legs versus when that foot is down, that leg's more in parallel. Okay, but this is the last exercise for that outer thigh glute on this side. That's the great news. So bear with. Just keep doing your best here. Keep that bottom foot lifted. If you've got the ankle weights going, well done. Whew, I'm definitely burning. Let's do last one here. Bring it in. Lower it down. It actually hurts more, I think, releasing it sometimes. Okay, extend both legs out here. We're going to stay on this side, but we're going to switch and focus on the bottom leg, inner thigh. So with this top leg, you're just going to pull it over the top. Still thinking of keeping hips stacked. So watch that you're not, again, rolling back onto that bottom butt. We're going to flex bottom foot, knees locked straight, and then angle toes slightly down toward the floor. So instead of in parallel or toes up, we're going to angle toes a little bit down. We're going to be doing a lift there and lower. Oh my God, it already hurts. I did one. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. So lift and lower, lift and lower. Really controlled on that lower. And the most important things, I say this often in these bar workouts, the two most important things are the length of the leg and the turnout on this one. It's not going to be necessarily the range of motion. If you've got the length and you've got the turnout, then yes, absolutely go for a big range of motion here as well. Don't cheat yourself out of that. But the range of motion, if you're here just like floppy, like throwing that leg up, you're not going to feel anything. You're not going to feel it where it's meant to be felt. You're not going to be properly engaging that inner thigh. So really, really going for the length and the turnout here, especially the length. So I'm reaching long through the heel because we're doing this first set flexed. Yes, I did say first set. All right, keep next one lifted. We're pulsing here. It's only 30 seconds of this pulse. Only 30 seconds. I mean, yeah. I don't know if it's really a case of only. It's 30 seconds though. It's not a full minute. That's the good news. We're over halfway through this pulse set. My leg is shaking, but I'm still just focusing all my mind, all my intention on that inner thigh, nowhere else. All right, go ahead, release. Now point the toes. We're just moving in parallel. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. We're almost through this side lying portion on this side though. So it's not too long here. It's just long enough. It's just long enough. And if you guys have done a fair bit of bar, of mat bar, yeah, you're used to this kind of workout and you would kind of say that you're a bit more advanced in it. If you're doing this without ankle weights, go get yourself some ankle weights and feel the difference. Because wow, just putting that small amount of weight at the end of the leg, it's physics. It's a lot of resistance. I'm not gonna lie. I hope I feel this tomorrow. I don't know. Do I hope that? Let's see. Keep it up. We're gonna pulse. So again, just 30 seconds of pulsing. This is the last exercise on this side. So bear with, keep pulling navel into spine, taking nice deep breaths here. Thinking of the length, so I'm reaching long through the toes. No wiggle in the knee, no wiggle in the ankle. Last few seconds here. Oh man, I'm feeling shaky. And go ahead. Release. Again, I do feel like the release like really just burns. Okay, from there, go ahead, roll onto your back. We're gonna do a couple things here before we switch to that other side. So you're gonna come into a little butterfly position here with the feet and knees, heels together, toes turned out, knees turned out, and we're gonna be lifting up to a bridge position, tucking everything under. So we're kind of thinking tail between legs, really wrapping glutes around into that turned out position. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Hands can just be by the sides here, light tap to floor. And again, scooping tailbone under so that we're really activating the glutes to lift rather than the lower back. If you're using a lot of lower back and hips, it will give the illusion of a higher lift. Well, it's not an illusion. It will lift you higher. But it's not actually the glutes that are going to be doing the work of that lift. So think more of keeping a flat back here, scooping under, and activating the glutes. Now, at least the ankle weights are not really contributing on this one to make it more difficult. That's a nice thing. It does feel very weird though, because we've worked one side, kind of outer thigh glute, and we worked the other side, inner thigh. So it does feel very weird right now. Stay up on this next one. We're gonna keep the hips level, squeeze inner thighs together, open, press out. Squeeze. So you'll notice I said squeeze inner thighs. I didn't say squeeze the knees. The knees will come together as a byproduct of that, but I don't want you to think of powering it from the knees. I want you to think of squeezing all the way from the top, from the inner thighs. Pressing out, resisting with the outer thighs and glutes, and keeping hips level. So hips shouldn't be bouncing up and down right now. Nice deep breaths, super, super controlled. So you're finding a little bit of a pause on either end of these ones. Just checking the time, making sure that we don't do any more of this than we need to. Right. Let's do one more here. And go ahead, release. There we go. I actually feel like that went by fairly quickly. All right, go ahead. Come back up here. We're gonna switch sides. Oh, has my pad been sticking out this whole time? I hope not. Annoying. All right, coming down onto the other side. The second side is gonna be harder because we've already worked both legs, different muscle groups, but we've worked both legs. So just prepare yourself mentally for the second side, knowing that if you did use ankle weights the whole first side, guess what? You got to do it again. So here we go. So we're starting with that internal rotation, external rotation, bottom leg just on the floor in 3, 2, 1. So knee to knee, toe to toe. This one out of all of them, I'm like, do you know what? It's not so bad. It's not so bad. I don't hate it. I don't really hate any of this. Some of it's a little bit of a doozy as it comes up to the end of it. I'm definitely relieved when we've made it through, but I don't hate any of this. I like a bit of mat bar because it is really just like business on the top, party on the bottom. Like I can kind of fool myself into thinking I'm relaxed right now because my upper body is just sort of, it's like I'm chilling. It's just like I'm chilling. Except for this very intense burn in my outer thigh and glute. One more here. Let's keep toes together, knees open. Exhale, extend. Inhale, touch. One thing that I find quite tricky with these is maintaining the turnout actually as you bring it in. So sometimes people will kind of like drop that knee and then lift the knee. That's not actually what we're aiming to do here. We want to keep the knee more or less in that same spot throughout. I'm thinking of wrapping open here, squeezing both glutes together, still staying on the bottom hip bone. So again, you can check in there. Bottom butt cheek should not be rolling back onto the floor. This side's also just a little bit harder for me because it is my non-dominant side. So I do have a little bit less of a turnout. Not making excuses, but this side I do feel like I have to push it a little bit harder to try to get it to that level because yeah, naturally I just don't have as much on this side and that's probably going to be the case for most of us. Last one here, keep toes together, knees open. We're lifting to high clamshell, feet come back down to low. So bottom knee stays down here, top knee stays high and open. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Like I say, we're getting a little bit into that top oblique here as well. And I know there are some of you guys out there who do own ankle weights and enjoy using them too. So yeah, this is for you. I even enjoy using ankle weights, kind of. I enjoy it when it's done. I feel a real sense of accomplishment. Am I enjoying it in this moment? I'm not hating it as much as I thought I was going to, but I wouldn't say I'm enjoying it, no. Keep it up here, feet lifted, internal rotation, knees together, toes together. So it's slightly bigger, even though it doesn't look bigger because feet will be closer together, because bottom foot's lifted, it is slightly bigger. So do not let the feet come together. No lazy legs here. Slow it down. Keep it controlled, find a little pause on either side of it, but you'll know the difference, right? You always know the difference. I can feel if I'm doing a workout and I'm just half-assing it a little bit, I can feel it. I know when I'm doing that, and it doesn't feel actually very satisfying because it's kind of like, well, what's the point? What's the point of doing it at all? Go big or go home. All right, we're almost finished with this little series on the second side. Hallelujah, that's gonna be a great feeling. Keep toes together, knees open. Final push here. Exhale, extend, inhale, bend. Oh my God. It's the hardest push of them all. Yes, my leg is shaking. I hope yours is too. If not, you can probably go for a bigger angle or more resistance. So, check in, ask yourself these questions. Or are you rolling back here? Remember, we don't want to be rolled back and going straight up. That is actually easier. It is actually easier because the mat is going to support you a little bit more. And it's actually just kind of an opening in the hip. It's more of a stretch. So yeah, it's going to be aimed, depending again on the degree of your turnout, it's going to be somewhat like forward, like a forward high diagonal. Oh, we're close here. Last few seconds. Last one here. Release. Again, it's that release. Oh my God. All right. Extend both legs long here. Bottom leg, inner thigh. Not too long a series here. So pull that top leg over. We're flexing first, turning toes down toward the floor. Keep that knee locked straight. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Find a little pause at the top. We're not just throwing that leg up using momentum and then letting it fall back down. It's controlled the whole way. And even just having that top leg over right now, oh my God, I feel that outer thigh and glute that we just worked. So that's a little bonus here. But yeah, this series is not too long. And actually, the rest of it, I'm gonna leave ankle weights on. Of course, do what you need to do. I'm gonna leave it on. That's my goal, to just keep the ankle weights on for the whole workout. But I feel like for the rest of the workout, the ankle weights aren't actually even gonna be that bad. This sideline series, I think, will have been the hardest bit with the ankle weights. Keep next one lifted. We're pulsing it here. So nice and high, starting the motion all the way from the top of the leg. Don't let it just be coming from the knee. That's the single biggest mistake I see people make with these, having that knee just a little bit soft or bent. It's also going to put more pressure on the joint, on the knee. Few more seconds here. 30 seconds isn't too bad. And then release, point the toes. We're just in parallel now. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Okay. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. I see the light at the end of the tunnel with this series. Such a good one though for toning inner and outer thighs, glutes, those kind of corners of the glutes. We're going to get more glutes here in a bit. As well as actually a little bit of transverse abdominis. So yeah, kind of a good all-rounder. Really getting that extra bit of toning from the ankle weights. I'm probably, I don't know, maybe after this, if you guys are using the ankle weights, we're gonna have a little bit of like trauma from them and not want to touch the ankle weights for a while. Let's see. Or maybe you're gonna get addicted to it and want to use the ankle weights for everything. Keep it up, pulse it here. Because I will say, though I don't often use ankle weights in my YouTube workouts, there are a lot of them where you can. So it's not to say that you can't or shouldn't. Because yeah, you can kind of add them in where you want. And that is just kind of always an option as a potential progression. And I know some of you guys do that. And go ahead, release, because you are hardcore. All right, that wasn't terrible. That wasn't terrible. All right, go ahead, roll over onto your back again here. Again, we're gonna find that butterfly position. So heels together, toes turned out, knees turned out. we're gonna put together the two things that we did before. So in a single motion, you're gonna lift, squeeze inner thighs together, so you're narrow at the top, everything's squeezing, tucking in. As we open, you're tapping butt to floor again. Don't spend a long time there on the floor. It's not meant to be like a big resty stretch. Yeah? No. Okay. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So lift, squeeze in, and then open. Light tap. I'm not even putting my full weight into the floor as I lower down there. It's just a light tap. Again, squeezing inner thighs. Now we're feeling that opposite side. So now I'm feeling my left outer thigh and glute and a whole lot of right inner thigh. Balancing it all out. Finding that little bit of pause, a little bit of hang time at the top. Keep going here, a little bit more. Just periodically looking up to check the time, as always, but you should be keeping your head down. Last one here. Stay up, just plant the feet flat here. You can step the feet in a little bit closer toward you, and we're just gonna march. So exhale, right knee tucks in, inhale, release. Same with the left. So you're keeping hips high. I lied, these are also gonna be hard with the ankle weights. Again, just keep it controlled. Don't let that leg just splat back down as much as it wants to. Don't let the hips lower. It's a really smooth transition, weight transition from one leg to the other. So hips shouldn't be rocking around all over the place. They should be staying pretty much consistent here. And this is where, yes, we are working into transverse abdominis a bit as well. Almost there. Probably one more on the other side. Yep. Last one here. Let's squeeze the feet together, inner thighs together, and we're just gonna release the tailbone, tuck under. Release tailbone, tuck under. So I didn't say release the hips up and down. I just said release the tailbone. So it is really more of that like pelvic tilt, pelvic tuck that we're looking for rather than a big up and down motion. Just to finish it out here. So tiny little release. You're kind of returning to that natural curvature of the spine, and then we're tucking it under, flattening it. Nearly there. And we're gonna switch gears a little bit. Kind of. We're still gonna be working glutes. But different position. Give me one more here. And release. Okay. Go ahead. Roll back up to seated here. All right, that's kind of our first big bit done. So we're gonna be coming now to hands and knees. I just need to fix my hair real quick because when I'm lying down in those bridge lifts, it can't handle it. So come to hands and knees here. We're gonna be doing some more glute lifts. So like I said, I'm gonna leave the ankle weight on. I've committed to it for the full thing, but up to you. You can of course take it off if you've been using it. Yeah, up to you. Hands and knees here though. We're gonna do single side. You're gonna bend left knee here, scoop up the navel. If the wrists are sensitive here, you could also do this from the elbows. So that is another option. We're gonna do a lift, pulse, lower down. Not hollowing the back, not swinging the hips side to side. I'm not just leaning over to the right. Everything's nice and controlled here. So 1 minute, we've got a few exercises on this side, and then we'll switch sides in 3, 2, 1. So lift, lift, and down. Sometimes what I'll see people do when there is a lift and a pulse combo is they'll do more of like a staggered lift where they'll kind of go halfway up and then they'll go the rest of the way up. It is a full up, so it's a full up on the first lift, and then that pulse is just a little extra squeeze at the top. So it's not half and then full, it's full plus extra little squeeze at the top. So just keep that in mind. Thinking of tucking tailbone under, you should be feeling this one more in that active lifting glute than in the supporting glute. If you are feeling it more in the supporting glute, it just tells you that possibly the glutes are a little bit sleepy, they're being a little bit inactive, in which case a lot of it's just finding that mind-body connection. Do one more here. Same leg, we're gonna fire hydrant. Lift, lift, press legs together. And again, let's see if we can find more of the active. Back is not moving here, so I'm not swaying over to my right side. Little self check here. See if you can pick up right hand and still keep going. You should be able to. If not, you know you're leaning into that right side. Also, if you see like right elbow bending, you'll know. So push that right hip into center. It's not gonna be the biggest lift on the left, but that's okay, nice and controlled. Again, full one plus the pulse. But yeah, we're looking to find that mind-body connection with the glutes to fire them up, and then just doing more of these kinds of workouts. So a lot of it's just gonna be strengthening the glutes. Last one there. And then final thing on this side, we're gonna circle. So you're gonna lift to the back, open to the side, circle in together. Lift rear, open side, circle in together. Imagine you've got a stack of books on your back. Don't drop them. So really, really controlled within that though, biggest range of motion you can find, as long as you're not swinging side to side. All right, go ahead, reverse direction. So we're gonna lift outward, circle around to back, and bring it down through center. Core engaged, so keeping a flat back, keeping navel tucked in and up. Especially important if you are doing this pregnant or postpartum. It is a good postpartum exercise as well. Last one there, release. Give the butt a little shake out, side to side. Okay, not bad at all. We're gonna switch sides here. So, same thing on the right, and actually I'm gonna flip around, face the other direction, so that I don't have to worry about that wall getting in the way. So, going to the rear first in 3, 2, 1. So, lift, squeeze, and down. Nice deep breaths here. Keeping navel pulled in the whole time. Shoulders soft, shouldn't be collapsing into the shoulders. You should not feel a huge amount of work, really, in the shoulders. If you do, probably the abs are not as engaged as they could be. And that pulse is really an opportunity to really connect, really connect with the glute. So if you're doing that initial lift and you're like, oh, I don't know if I really feel it. All right, drive it all the way up and then boom, find that little extra squeeze. It's just a case truly of getting your mind to connect with it. And these kinds of mat exercises are really mind-body. That's kind of what I love about them. They're sort of meditative in that way. Last one here, and then we're gonna go out to the side. So lift, lift, press back in, engaging the inner thighs as you press in. Lift, lift, knees are just in line. See if you can pick up left hand. If so, then we know, okay, core is pretty well engaged. You can bring it back down. You don't have to do it just on one hand. You could. That would be another progression. I feel as if actually over the course of the pregnancy-friendly workouts that I've filmed, I actually feel as if they've gotten a little bit more challenging. Now, that could just be me getting more pregnant as the weeks go by, but no, I have sort of intentionally made them a little bit more challenging. One, because I know my body. You should always be, the person who knows your body best. We're gonna circle outward here. So out to the side, around, and down. I know my body pretty well. I know that it is actually feeling pretty good to do these slightly more challenging ones right now, especially as I kind of approach that break period of postpartum where I'm not going to be exercising for some number of weeks. It feels really good to kind of like get a little extra muscle reserve. Last one this direction, and go ahead reverse direction with that circle. So yeah, I have kind of intentionally, I would say, made the workouts a little bit more challenging, whether that's through adding some props or just like, I don't know, a little bit extra endurance. But you will know what you can do, the best. You know your own level. Go ahead, release. Okay, again, let's just drop the hips side to side a few times there. Final push here. We are just about finished. You're gonna flip around, come into a seated position here. We're gonna do hands underneath the shoulders. This is a great postural one as well, and it's gonna work the whole back body. We're gonna lift to reverse tabletop, squeeze everything nice and tight, lower down. Now in this reverse tabletop, don't be sagging the shoulders here. Shoulders should not be near the ears. So think of squeezing shoulder blades around and back, extending as far out of the floor as you can. Little pause, we lower down. Starting here in 3, 2, 1. Truly, we are in the home stretch of this workout. Do you know what? I've enjoyed this one. I have enjoyed this one because the exercises themselves have not been too bad, but they have really burned, especially having those ankle weights. Like, I've definitely felt the burn. And like I say, maybe I'll feel this tomorrow. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I don't know. I'm pretty used to working out lower body and working out lower body with weights. So I wouldn't say that I often feel it the next day unless I've had a bit of a break, but we'll see. I haven't used the ankle weight in this way in a while, so that could just be the thing. All right, on your next one, yes, that's right, we're gonna do one more. You're gonna stay up here and we're gonna march it, same as we did in that bridge. Lift, lower. Same, but harder. Little bit more work for the shoulders. Surprise, didn't warn you about that. But it was happening all along. It was coming. Squeezing up as high as you can with the glutes. We just have one final thing after this. And then if you still have those ankle weights on, we're gonna take them off and we're gonna stretch. So it's actually less than a minute left with those ankle weights on. How good does that feel? I feel like I can get through anything. All right, last one here. And then you can either just hold it here in this reverse table for 30 seconds or extend legs long, hold a reverse plank. If you're in that reverse plank, again, just don't sag here in the shoulders, lift it up nice and high, actively pushing shoulders down away from the ears. Whole back body is working here. Again, good one in pregnancy, good one postpartum, good one for everybody, good one if you're working in a desk job. Here's 3, 2, 1. Release. Okay. Give the wrists a bit of a shake out after that series as well. Like I say, ankle weights can come off if they were on that whole time. Give yourself a pat on the back. First of all, because that's not easy. That was not easy at all. All right, we're gonna take soles of feet together here, knees open wide. I've got little weird marks on my ankles now from the weights. Oh well. So pressing into a little butterfly stretch here. oh well, it's just part of it. Part of the fun. Good. We'll extend one leg out to the side here, and we'll just take a side reach over it. Up, over, opening through the side body. These always feel really, really good. And go ahead, switch sides. In pregnancy, I've been loving these side stretches because, yeah, often I can feel baby kind of up under the ribs, which is not the most comfortable sensation, I'm not gonna lie. It happens especially if I've been like sitting for a while. And I find just stretching out through the sides makes a little bit more space there. Really makes it a lot more comfortable. Come onto hands and knees here. We're gonna take a pigeon. If you are pregnant and don't feel comfortable doing a normal pigeon stretch here, you can also do a seated pigeon, which is just that kind of like figure 4 stretch. But if you feel like going for the full thing here, you're just gonna bring one leg forward, sink back into it, keeping chest lifted here, and then maybe lowering to the elbows or all the way down, depending what you've got space for. But just melting into it, thinking of really kind of releasing, relaxing lower back as well. And then go ahead, press up here, stay on this side though. If it feels okay for the knee, you can just bend that back leg, reach around, pull it in. Wow, that is a big, juicy quad stretch. It's gonna be front hip flexor on that side. Whoo! Wow. Go ahead, release. We'll switch sides. So first, into that pigeon. Maybe lowering to the elbows or all the way down. These stretches are feeling good. This whole workout actually I thought felt pretty good. Sometimes if you just set the expectation, I was like, oh my God, doing these weights, I'm so gonna regret it. It's gonna be so miserable. It wasn't that miserable at all. I didn't mind it. Go ahead, bring it back up. Again, option to bend that back knee, reach around. Wow. Okay, note to self, need to stretch my quads. I do stretch my quads, but this is just a deeper quad stretch than I typically do. And I can feel the difference. Go ahead, release, bring that leg back. So if you were doing a seated pigeon there, go ahead, come to hands and knees. We'll all just be on hands and knees here. And we're just gonna do some big hip circles in one direction. So kind of feeling however feels good to move it. I like to sort of like pop my butt at the back and then tuck in. So there's almost like a little bit of an element of a cat-cow in it. Reverse directions. Really just looking to release the hips a little bit there. And then we'll just come back to neutral here and finish with a cat-cow. So you're just gonna be exhaling, rounding, really tucking in, pushing floor away from you. Look back toward the tops of the legs. And then inhale, tilt forward, still keeping core engaged, opening through the chest, fronts of shoulders. Exhale, round, tuck in. Inhale, hollow. Let's do one more. Exhale round. It's getting harder and harder to tuck this belly. And then inhale, hollow. And then go ahead, come back to a seated position. Awesome job, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you're feeling as good as I am right now, because genuinely, I feel like that was the exact workout that I needed to do at this moment in my life. So if you feel the same, let me know by giving this video a like down below. Of course, hit that subscribe button. We've still got at least a few more weeks of these pregnancy workouts. I can't guarantee how long I'm gonna go for, but we've got at least a few more weeks. I feel that in my core right now. And let me know down below in the comments section if you've been following my pregnancy workouts if you are pregnant, how you've been getting on with them, or if you're doing them not pregnant, that's totally fine too. Like I said, they are for everybody. I will see you guys back here soon. Bye.